Disclaimer: this is a pastiche of CinemaScene's Everything Wrong With series. The purpose of this video is comedy and entertainment only. It is not a critique and does not represent my opinion on this game. I mean no offense towards the game, its creators, nor its fans. On the contrary, the reason I'm doing this video is because I loved the Legend of Spyro series and I wanted to pay it a tribute. Thank you for watching, forgive my pronunciation, and hope you enjoy!
In a world beyond the realms.
That door was already open and the room was already lit. You are breathing fire for no reason. Ignitus has apparently never heard the saying, "Don't put all your eggs in the same basket," which is pretty ironic for an oviparous species. Also, why do you have all those eggs anyway? This is apparently something you do on a regular basis, not a specific measure related to the war. So why don't dragon families brood and hatch their eggs by themselves?
Save them! The dark armies have come!
Voltaire orders Ignitus to save them eggs, yet Ignitus settles with saving only one of them. Ignitus finds a random waterborne cradle just laying around. Talk about run convenience. Wow, Dan! Forget about Mario, this place should be called the Mushroom Kingdom.
As for Spyro, he, like all of us, accepted the world into which he was born, believing he was one of them. A big purple one of them, true, but one of them, nonetheless.
And the fact that he had 4 legs instead of 6, bat wings instead of insect wings, and scales instead of an exoskeleton did not make him suspicious? I hope the Dark Master won't try to convince Spyro he is the good guy, because with how gullible Spyro is, the world will be doomed.
I see you, my little glowing friend.
Seeing and catching are two different things, a big boy.
That's true, but you are playing hide and seek right now. For all matters and purposes, you have lost.
You're toast when I catch you.
Okay, that was a clever joke.
Ugh. Now I smell almost as bad as you do.
Unless Spyro has never taken a shower before, I highly doubt it. These 4 grids are attacking a dragon instead of going for the nearby dragonfly, meaning they don't have the smallest idea of what the food chain is.
Where's that little gnat gone now?
Spyro, you are in a tunnel. If you didn't see Sparks coming past you, that means he is at the other end. Whoa. I know monkeys can jump high, but that was supernatural. These goons are fighting a dragon with their bare hands. I have to add 1 scene for their stupidity, but remove 1 for their courage. This dynamite stick was already lit when the monkey took it out of its pocket, meaning this monkey carries a supply of dynamite sticks that auto-lit when exposed to air, which is a grave safety hazard. Sparks should be dead.
So that was the night that Spyro learned he wasn't a dragonfly after all, but in fact an exile from an unknown distant land.
Wait, you mean Spyro's parents themselves don't know Spyro's species? I think they should know what a dragon is. They are or were one of the dominant species in this world. And they are not exactly neighbors, but the Dragon Temple is not far away either.
It's just that you came from somewhere else. Far away, where wars rage on and on.
So you are aware of what happens outside the swamp. Then how can you ignore the existence of dragons?
So that's it, huh? Leaving Sparks behind the old homestead?
Well, to be fair, given how annoying you've been in only 10 minutes of tutorial, I don't really mind leaving you behind.
All gifts come with a price.
And a great power comes with great responsibilities. But I guess Marvel already copyrighted that line.
Don't listen to your father's preaching, Spyro. Just be yourself. It's all any of us can do.
And that's the last time in this series we see a female character other than Cinder. Hope you like Cinder a lot, or else you will feel a serious like of female characters.
So, hard as it was, Spyro left the only family he had ever known.
Most people only have one family, Ignatius. The only in your sentence is unnecessary. So, can someone tell me if these blob things have any kind of usefulness? The camera is centered on them at the beginning of the cutscene, but I did not manage to interact with them in any way. Wait, why do those mushroom spider thingies have unique names? Aren't they supposed to be non-sapient animals like the frogweed?
You're alive.
You know you suck at your job when your job is to protect someone, and you are in utter disbelief when you see that they are alive.
You're a dragon.
You're a wizard, Harry.
When you were just an egg, it was my job to protect you. It was my job to protect all of you. The Dark Armies attacked, intent on destroying the egg.
I think Dark Armies is the most generic faction name I've ever seen.
Black dragon that fills the skies with terror. An unstoppable force of nature.
Well, she was poisoned and corrupted with dark magic, so I don't think she has anything to do with nature. Force of evil would fit her more. In this world, even the very concept of a black dragon goes against nature.
It's true, the prophecies spoke of the purple dragon destined to put his stamp on this age. But the prophecies didn't foretell the devastation that surrounds us now.
I mean, did the prophecies foretell that there would be no devastation? Because unless they specifically mention that doesn't mean the prophecies were wrong.
That's when I go, maybe we should, go back to the forest with the flowers and the fun stuff.
I don't remember seeing any flowers in the swamp area, and except for the frogweeds trying to eat us, I don't remember any fun stuff either.
There's a small tunnel that animals use to access the caves.
Why do you have a tunnel that allows wild animals to enter and exit your temple at will? Doesn't it defeat the purpose of, having walls? Before making this video, I always thought that dragon armors were introduced in Dawn of the Dragon, but actually we can see a dragon helmet in this game too. This is great world building, and this is worth removing it. But Sparks, why are you following me? You clearly said you were going to wait here.
Okay, you know what? You do that, and I'll wait here.
The developers chose to place this new Spyro series in its own unique universe, and they managed to come up with a very interesting design for the creatures that inhabited this world. Both the enemies and the small decorative animals have pretty original and unique designs that really make us feel like we are in another universe.
A little insect trouble. Nothing I couldn't handle.
Little insects, my tail section.
That's a creative way of saying my ass while remaining PG-13, and a funny note to the fact that Sparks is a dragonfly.
The past is prelude, tomorrow a dim promise. Allow us entrance, do not reject us.
Are you making that up?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Guess we'll have to open it the old-fashioned way. Make your way through the connecting rooms, restoring every statue you can find.
Usually, when someone talks about opening a door the old-fashioned way, I expect them to force the door rather than repair the lock mechanism. Especially when that someone's natural weapons include explosive fireballs and ram-like horns.
I just felt like I had to hit it. And when I did, the power of 1,000 suns surged through my body.
If the power of 1,000 suns had surged through your body, you would be dead. This guy's last name is Dance Twister, which makes me think he should be working on the dance floor rather than fighting in a mercenary army.
Do you hear that?
What is it?
That's the screams of the monkey soldiers. Have you been paying attention to what happened during the last 30 minutes?
If this door is closed, it means there are intruders behind. It's how the temple protects itself.
Yeah, it doesn't work too well, does it?
Sparks would be very good at gaming scenes. That was satisfying. Seriously, Igniters? You're using a Fury for only 3 enemies that are already weakened? You are bad at playing this game.
You were incredible, Ignitus. Can you show me how to do that?
The fact that they leave without collecting at least the experience gems infuriates me. Ignatius is definitely bad at playing this game. Ignitus is a dick to sparks, but I don't know whether I should add or remove a scene for that. I think the usual thing is to add a scene, so...
Spyro, we're not in Kansas anymore.
You're not in... What? Do you know what Kansas is? Are you implying that you and Spyro come from Kansas? Does this game take place in the United States? Spyro is bewildered by the landscape despite being too small to see over the parapet.
What happened here?
Oh, it's pretty simple. The GameCube's computational resources are pretty limited, so the level designers had to make very ugly landscapes with random 3D blobs and PNG images.
This is what Cinder has done.
Oh, you mean the landscape is actually supposed to look ugly because of Cinder's evil mischiefs and not just because of resource limitations? Okay, my bad.
You're going to need to learn a lot more.
Oh, good, school.
Wait, you know what a school is? Meaning you live in a society where school is a thing? Well, that explains why you knew about geometry in a previous cutscene, but if you went to school, how could you ignore the existence of dragons?
Now, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and empty your mind. Yes, that's it.
Apparently, Spyro can not only fly but also teleport as well. This sequence is so much a copy of Star Fox that it even has a barrel roll. This Leviathan turtle thing is another example of the cool designs they introduced in this universe. Ignitus told us that Cinder's forces were in a dominating positions, yet they are using their own soldiers as projectiles, which wouldn't happen unless they are really desperate.
Dante's freezer is a desolate Arctic expanse.
Wow, a reference to the last circle of hell in Dante's Inferno? The frozen hell where the traitors are punished? I'll remove a scene for this classic reference.
Is a desolate Arctic expanse that's littered with the machinery of war. Soldiers and weapons frozen forever in the posture of destruction.
So, what is so important about Dante's freezer that people keep trying to occupy it? Clearly the place doesn't have any valuable resources, yet both an ancient army and Cinder's forces have tried to conquer the place.
Well, it sure doesn't help that you're carrying all that weight. You know, throw a salad in every once in a while. You might be okay.
You are still mocking him for his weight, even though you learned he's from a different species? Also, I don't think dragons are really suited to eat salad, and dragonflies definitely aren't. So, this guy's first name is Jeevy?
You think that was Cinder?
I sure hope so.
What?
Well, if it wasn't, it means there's more than one giant evil dragon around here.
What do you mean, giant? She is the same size as Ignitus, which is the standard size of an adult dragon. Nope, no way these soldiers are still alive after their troop transports exploded like that. No, don't you dare fall... Ah, of course. If Cinder had the same sense of timing as these icicles, Spyro would already be dead. How comes that enemies can go through this frost wall but Spyro cannot? Why can't I go through this obviously obvious tunnel? Doing this is pretty funny. Oh, I see. Now that I have beaten all of the enemies, I can go through the obviously obvious tunnel. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Sparks.
Is that what I think it is? Ah!
That was the least frightened fright scream I've ever heard. Also, why does this guy only awake now? Why didn't he awake when the apes placed Voltaire in here the first time? The physical appearance of some bosses and regular enemies change depending on the damage they have received, which is a pretty cool detail.
Amazing. Of course, there were unsubstantiated rumors of a purple dragon countless generations ago.
What do you mean, unsubstantiated rumors? The phenomenon of the purple dragon must be pretty well documented, especially since the biggest threat the world has ever seen was a purple dragon. Additionally, you were in charge of guarding the eggs, and only one of them was purple. You even put it aside from the other, which indicates that you knew it was special.
Back to Cinder. She was doing what to you?
Whoa, Ignatius. Please keep it safe for work, okay?
But it seems she was using me as some sort of suspended organic power source.
Huh?
She was using him as a battery.
Why didn't he just say so?
Wait, you know what a battery is? Meaning your civilization has discovered electronics? Why don't you use electronic devices then? Maybe you guys should go train like outside. Moving the statue each time you need to train is very cool looking but also very impractical.
You and Sparks must go there at once and find him.
Yes, sir.
But if we see danger, we should run, right?
There are times when all of us need to stand up to danger, young Sparks.
Right, but Spyro is still not trained or strong enough to fight Cinder yet, so Sparks is right, isn't he?
Tall Plains was once home to a proud ancient tribe called the Atlawa.
You know, when the previous level's name was a reference to Dante's Inferno, it's kind of disappointing that this one is just named the Tall Plains. These traps are activated simply by approaching them, meaning the Atlawa somehow have the technology of infrared sensors. This guy is terrible at handling dynamite. Well, then again, I did say earlier that self-igniting dynamite sticks was a dangerous concept. Same thing as the mushroom spiders. Why do those two-legs armadillos have proper names? Are they sapient? Armadillo Wilhelm scream. Really? You are the most powerful army in the world? You have access to the most powerful magic and technologic weapons? You are fighting a dangerous foe who is not only a freaking dragon, but also one that is chosen by a prophecy, and the best trap you could set up is a hole covered with sticks and leaves? You deserve to lose the war just for that. The Dreadwings can fly, yet they die instantly when falling off a cliff. Well, to be fair, so does Spyro, so at least the game is coherent in its incoherence. Though the suspended bridges give a pretty good feeling of vertigo. The electricity breath can be used to push enemies off a cliff, which is really enjoyable. I don't really understand the level design here. You have a rather long hidden path that looks like a secret passage. You can jump on the rocks at the end and it leads to nowhere. You're just blocked by an invisible wall. Why isn't there a secret hidden in there? This is driving me mad.
You're all alone?
Only until I kick these bums out.
Well, you're a bad chief. You should focus on saving your people first, or contacting the ones who managed to escape, in order to create an army and then kick these bums out. Not the other way around.
Besides, it's not safe for you here.
We are on a battlefield, of course it's not safe, you moron. You should question whether or not we have a good reason for taking those risks, rather than telling us something we already know.
We can take care of ourselves. Anyway, we need to get to the shrine.
You'll never make it.
He didn't ask you whether or not you thought he would make it, Dumbas. He asked you for the direction. Kane somehow managed to cross this grid before we lower it. If he was as skilled in combat as he was in parkour, Cinder would already be dead.
You can't possibly face the god of the shrine alone.
Not all of us are loners, Kane. I'm not going alone.
Okay, firstly, you are pretty much going alone. Sparks contributes nothing to the fight, and more often than not, he only scuppers your stealth approaches. Secondly, what the hell is going on? The guy who insisted on saving his tribe alone, dismissing Spyro's help, is now giving Spyro a lesson on teamwork, and Spyro is now, the two of us are going to face the shrine's god without the help of your tribe, so watch closely, this is an exemplary teamwork. I can believe in the existence of a flying boat, but not in the existence of a flying boat made of stone. That's Literally the worst material you could choose to build a flying boat. Or even a normal boat for that matters.
Take that!
Did I ever mention the musics of this game were pretty epic?
That's fine, but I came to free Cyril.
You must go through the god of the shrine to free him.
How do you know who Cyril is?
Careful. Remember last time?
I know, but Cinder left and I don't see any Ice Kings hanging around this place.
But Kane just told you about the god of a shrine. Are you a dragonfly or a goldfish?
Yes, old boy, we'd like nothing more than to stay and be a part of your primitive barbaric society, but...
Oh, then. Cyril certainly feels some strong disdain for these people he is supposed to defend. Also, on what criteria would you judge their society primitive and barbaric? From what we can see in this series, dragons sleep on the ground, don't wear clothes aside from armors, worship their ancestors, which is the most primitive form of religions, don't use electrical devices despite knowing of their existence, and unlike Atlawas, don't use agriculture. Of course, there are many more criteria to take into account, like the use of writing and magic, which dragons do, but overall, your society doesn't seem that more advanced.
And freeing Terrador before she can create another crystal from his powers.
And before the volcano blows, it's...
And that's enough, Voltaire. There's plenty of time. Plenty of time.
The way you're saying that is very, very ominous. The tunnels of this mine are infected with firebugs, which poses an important safety hazard. And before you reply to me that Cinder doesn't care about the welfare of her soldiers and slaves, yes, she should care because hazards reduce their productivity, and this is where the weapons are produced. Maybe, if they had solved this bug problem, most of Cinder's soldiers would have a weapon instead of fighting barehanded.
It's me, Spyro.
And the former god of tall plains, Sparks.
Why former? You're still revered by the Atlawa. Just because you left doesn't mean they stopped revering you.
You don't carry the stench of Cinder's beast, so you must be friends.
That's stenchist? I really don't see what my smell has to do with my political and moral opinions.
If you would help me free them, perhaps there's something I could do for you?
By help me free them, you mean free them while I'll sit back without doing anything? Yes? Then we have a deal. This guy is also terrible at handling dynamite. This rock just exploded out of nowhere. The volcano must be really unstable for this kind of phenomenon to happen. Or is that because I freed all the prisoners? Who can tell? So, can someone explain me the purpose of this mechanism? Because I don't think it has one. Okay, the bell is hollow, so maybe you shouldn't be dead, but at the very least you should be deaf. Where is this blue light coming from? It doesn't come from the sky, but it doesn't seem to come from anywhere at all.
You gotta hop on steam and get back to that flea-bitten dragon.
So the name of your steam locomotive is Steam. I think you could have been even less inspired and just named it Locomotive.
Come on, Sparks, we've got to catch them.
Why would you want to catch them? They are going to where Terrador is imprisoned. Discreetly following them would be your best chance at fighting Terrador. I am wondering how this non-motorized vehicle can catch up with a motorized vehicle in spite of the numerous upward slopes they cross. Also, it makes sense that ramming into the caboose would damage it, but that should also damage Spyro's vehicle, unless it was specifically designed for this purpose, which is very unlikely. Who is operating the railroad switch to make this even possible? They would have to be insanely precise for neither vehicle to derail. Wait, that's the end of the railroad? Then where did all those minecarts come from? Related question, Exhumor, what the hell are you doing on a railroad that was frequently crossed by minecarts a few seconds ago?
We're just disappointed you didn't leave any fun for us.
I mean, you were here. You could have taken part in the fight if you wanted.
When you say be careful, does that mean try not to die? I'm trying to do that anyway.
That's an insightful observation from Sparks. Storing dynamite that close to lava is a very bad idea.
Is that Pterodor?
A big dragon being held prisoner in the center of an explosive volcano?
So that's what people call the darkest pits of a volcano? That's pretty much an open sky area. Also, we are supposed to be in the center of a volcano, but the volcano is here in the background.
Careful, it's never this easy.
After the last 2 times, you're not gonna get an argument from me, Chief. Oh, here we go.
Were you waiting behind this door the whole time? Spyro could have saved himself a lot of trouble if he had attacked the conductor directly instead of fighting the locomotive. What the? Was Cinder hidden in the lava? How did she do that? How is she not dead?
Go, Spyro! Fly like you've never flown before! I'll go back to the temple for help!
Or maybe both of you should fly back to the temple? Unless you're incredibly bad at flying, I don't see any reason to leave Spyro acting like a bet while you get to the temple alone. Well, admittedly, you just got pwned by a basic maneuver, so maybe you are incredibly bad at flying. Gravity-defying lava. So Pterodor went back to the temple where he found the 3 other guardians and decided not only to bring only one of them, which is a scene in itself, but also to bring precisely the one Cinder needed to create the last crystal and free the Dark Master. I'm starting to think Pterodor is less competent than he wants us to think.
You'd never find them in this mess.
You had plenty of time to see where Ignatius and Cinder fell, and despite the volcanic eruption going on around, you seem to have optimal visibility. Finding them should be quite easy.
And you're not ready to face Cinder yet.
Is it though? After this cutscene, we are brought to the Earth Magic tutorial, after which we are told you are now ready to face Cinder. So the only thing Spyro is lacking right now is the Earth Bomb technique. And don't get me wrong, the Earth Bomb is incredibly useful against crowds of enemies, but it's pretty useless against Cinder.
All warriors feel fear, Spyro, but only the most valiant among us can face that fear and master it.
Says the alleged warrior who fled 2 fights in the span of 10 minutes.
Ignitus is the final piece to Cinder's puzzle. If that last crystal is powered, the portal will open and we'll all be done for.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before sending Ignatius fight Cinder alone while you remained here doing nothing.
I'd give anything to go with you, young warrior. But that crystal sapped the last of my will. I fear my fighting days are over.
Every generation must pass the torch to the next, Pterodor. Our time is done.
That's a pretty shitty excuse for not moving your asses. The world is on the brink of extinction right now. Everyone has to give 200% of themselves, and you still have the advantage of being airborne. I get that you're not elite warriors anymore, but you can still do reconnaissance, surveillance of enemy movements, and diversions to disorganize enemy troops. I'm starting to understand why you lost the war if such tactics mean nothing to you. Cinder's guards have this huge door that Spyro can't open by any means, but they decide to open it after Spyro has beaten all the guards, which defeats the entire purpose of having such heavy fortifications. Also, Spyro has beaten up a few dozens of soldiers right before your eyes. Are you sure letting him inside and assume you can handle him is more reasonable than locking him outside? Ah yes, electric barriers that deactivate periodically to let the intruder pass. The top notch of security. Ah yes, obstacles that are deactivated when all the security guards are killed. Typical fortress security system. This enemy has a very good design. So what do we have here? Ah, laser shooting towers that attack their own soldiers and are incapable of monitoring the entire field at once. This fortress's defense system just keeps getting better. Okay, how do you pronounce that, and who thought it was a good idea to name a golem Eiai?
If only it were that easy, little one.
So big.
Again, no, she's the normal size of an adult dragon. And don't tell me he's talking about her boobs. Dragons are oviparous. Oh, come on, this attack was so grossly telegraphed, even I would have dodged it. That's a 5 seconds telegraph for the ancient's sake.
Does she ever use doors?
Cinder leaves the arena by shattering the glass roof, while she could easily leave through the side since there are no walls.
There was something in her eyes, Ignitus. Something familiar.
There should be, Spyro. You and Cinder share more than you know. It's time I told you the truth. All of it.
That's a pretty dramatic dialogue when their only common point is their birthday.
He wanted to destroy all the eggs to prevent the birth of the purple dragon. But he also needed a dragon.
Did Ignitus just tripped over all by himself and lost consciousness? We don't see any soldier immobilizing him. We interrupt Spyro the Dragon to bring you Metroid Prime. And yes, that's a sinner.
This is where it really ends.
Bring it!
Spyro's Bring It in this final encounter mirrors Cinder's Bring It in their first encounter, which is a pretty neat detail. How the... No way you're still alive after this! No way!
Cinder, ever since I failed the night of the raid, I've dreamt of this day.
It wasn't just you, Ignitus. We all failed.
I love how Terrador shamefully lowers his head upon hearing this. Seriously, look at the flashback of the night of the raid. Terrador is the only guardian that is nowhere to be found. I tell you, either this guy works for the Dark Master or he is a complete incompetent.
And did I back away? Nah. Why? 'Cause I got moxie. I'm a tough cookie.
Wait, if Sparks is using the idiom tough cookie, that means cookies exist in this universe. Okay, you know what? I think by now we can definitely affirm that Legend of Spyro really takes place in modern America, somewhere around Kansas.
I should go back to the swamp. Mom will make it all good. Mommy always does.
Damn, that was surprisingly sad and emotional coming from Sparks. He's been the comic relief through the whole game, and only now we realize how much the events have weighted on his frail shoulders. That does raise a question though. Why doesn't he go back to the swamp? With Cinder's defeat, the only danger that remain are the frogweeds. And I don't care the Guardians' fighting days are over. They are freaking dragons. They are still far above frogweeds in the food chain.